Hello and welcome into office hours. I'm a couple of minutes early, so I'll let everyone come on in. So right-hand chat box is where you can pop your question in. For now, just let me know who's in the room. Let me know where you're calling in from. How are we going? Still got quite a few people to come in, so come on in, guys. I might just quickly grab a pot of tea. I've got another 2 minutes. I might do that. Awesome. Come on in. Let me know who's in here, where you're calling in from, your name and where you're calling in from, and we'll get to work in a couple of minutes' time. We'll just grab a cuppa. Hi, guys. Come on in, Shatana, Jess, Renee, Sonia, awesome. Keep coming. Hi, everyone. Beautiful. I'm just going to grab a quick cuppa. Grab one yourself if you'd like to. Come on in. Oh, it's a bit chilly this morning. Now I'm in a very different space. This room looks blue. Anyway, I'm in a very different space. I've got clutter everywhere. We are filming it today. We've got hi Brittany, hi Kate, hi Gentry, come on in, guys. Got Jessica from Washington State, USA. Beautiful. Let me know where you're calling in from, guys, in the chat box on the right-hand side. We're filming this week, so my director's over. Wish I could take this up. I'm actually using my desktop right now. I moved it out to the dining table. But got a cool setup in there happening in my home studio, which we finally decided to do properly. In the past, we've just done like literally throw a chair into a room or a little scene and just shoot with that. Or we've gone to like a proper studio on occasions, or gone over to New Zealand into their studio. However, now with just the amount of videos that I'm doing and how quickly we're growing, I'm like, we need a home studio setup. We need something here where I spend the bulk of my time. So we're doing that. Sonia, warm here. Lucky girl. Not here. It's very cold. I've got the heaters on, I think. Yeah, I do. Kate, hi, Kate. Come on in. You're first up with the questions. Awesome. Tonya, I will. Coming in from Brizzy. You're probably way warmer up in Brizzy. Beautiful. Let me just see if most of the people who said they were going to be here were. No, less than a third. So do we wait? No, we get started on time. But I'm sure they'll come and join us. So thanks, guys. Yep, I'll get straight onto it. Darwin, sunny, and 33 for Kate. Crikey. So jealous right now. I think it's going to be an okay day, but it's probably about 5 or 6 degrees right now. Maybe 7. Okay. Let's get to work. The way this works, if this is your first office hours, welcome. I recognise a lot of the names in here, so I don't think there's many newbies. The way it works, chat box on the right-hand side, pop your question in as it pops up, and you can either, some girls, my hiccups are a really great sign of when I'm talking too quickly because I stop breathing and then I start hiccuping for some reason. So some people use this office hours to ask a question and then head off, particularly the girls who, if there's anyone here from the UK or Europe right now, you need to do that. Others like to stay for the whole session and they just have it on the side and kind of pottering away on work, and whenever they hear a question, that's kind of how they learn. Question that applies to them, they'll listen up. So you can do as you wish. Either's fine with me. Your questions can go in the right-hand chat box. So pop those in there. I'll be able to answer them, and I answer them in order from first to last. It's private, so I can see all of your questions, but you can only see your own. So don't worry about anyone else judging you or anyone judging you. I won't judge you either. And I'm just going to work through them. Hopefully this is super helpful, and we'll just keep going till we run out of questions, or till we hit that 2-hour mark, because I've got to head into hair and makeup in 2 hours. What should I do? I'm thinking just curl it. I don't know. We'll play around. Anyway, Kate, you are first with your question. P.S. If, like Kate, you've submitted one in the portal before because you weren't sure if you could be here or not, or it's got an attachment, can you let me know that in the chat box and say, hey, Grace, I've sent you one in the portal. If you're here live, let me know in the chat box if you've sent me one in the portal so I can go and grab that and answer it for you. So, Kate, your question is first. Kate, cool. Awesome. So Kate's question lies around, do I have to offer the upsell number 2 in my funnel? So we've been talking already about her funnel. She's like, do I have to go to upsell number 2? So if we think about it, she's got, I should just quickly bring my whiteboard over because this will really help. Oh, it's really heavy. Not really heavy, but, oh crap. Heavy for little Gracie. Oh. This is showing how weak I am. I'd just like to say I used to bench 60 kilos. But I think I just broke this. Anyway, can you see this? What have we got going on? You can see that close enough. Cool. I'll just quickly grab my whiteboard marker. This one will do. Okay, so I put some wood around my whiteboard for my filming. Do you like it? Rather than the metal. I didn't put it around. Who am I kidding? My one of the girls' friends that they knew came in and did it for us, and he was lovely and super helpful. Okay, so question. Ow. Oh, and there's Kate. There's a question about before that about checking out my value ladder. Hold on, I'll just hit refresh because it hasn't come in yet. Oh, why am I puffed? Oh, okay, you just, there was a space before your name, so it popped down to the bottom after Z. All good. Can you give me feedback on my value ladder for my live event funnel? This workshop is 2 hours, not 4 hours like yours. This duration has been tried and tested and proven good. Cool. I've tried 2 hours and it hasn't worked as well as 4 for me, but if you've done it and it's worked better than 4, fine by me. I'm presenting at a Tony Robbins event next month, and that's only 2 hours, so sometimes you just got to make it work. Awesome. I'll just quickly open this up. Now, she says that when I did a survey, I did not test VIP ticket prices, so it's the only one that I'm not confident with. Yeah, I would. I can tell you from experience from doing 100 events that you'll be fine with VIPs. And I like it that you're starting with your VIPs at 49. There's no reason why you can't go up to 97 because that experience absolutely can be at that price point, but in your space, in your market, probably better just to pull everything down a bit. You can always go up. It's a little bit embarrassing to go down. Now, she's wondering with her value ladder, she's going from a workshop to her VIP upsell. So you've got a normal ticket, VIP, and then she's got a 6-week yoga course. She's asking, should she do this upsell as well? So in terms of price points, I would personally put your bump at $17. If you're just brand new to this and you haven't done the workshop part of the program, don't freak out. This is where she's learned all of this. I would personally put the bump at 17. I know you're in a different niche and the perceived value isn't as high as some. I would put it at 17 personally. So that's your value ladder. Now the other question, but everything else on that is fine. And the other part, these are my starting prices. Do you think I should test cheaper? No. In my experience, 7s work better, work better in a lot of cases. So I think you've got that in the higher one, right? Ending in a 7 works well, which is why I'm saying the 17 for the bump rather than $9. Now, do I have to offer upsell too? So she goes from a Facebook ad and then she goes to a live event ticket. You can see that all right. Yeah. She goes to a landing page. The first page should just grab an email address and give them all the details. The second page will be more of an order form where she grabs the ticket. It always works best, and you can usually sell more at a cheaper price if you start at $1 and they pay the 20 27 or 37. Depends on your venue costs as well. If you're hiring out a space, or if you've got any sort of venue costs that are going to apply, maybe go closer to 37. But the fact that it's only 2 hours, I would start with 27. And she's got her bump here, which she's got at $9. I absolutely think this can be easily 17 in your space. Then she goes to a VIP, and she's going to start off with this VIP at $49, and then pretend I've left enough room on this whiteboard. Then she's going to go to was it 197 or 297? Both price points work, and you just see which one gets the most total revenue by testing them. This is a 6-week course. I've got to let you know from experience, this became incredibly profitable when I added it onto my live event funnel. So she's saying, is this a bit too much? Like they've come here for the workshop, they've bought the workshop, they might have even bought the upsell, like got transitioning now to a 6-week course when we're about to get together and hang out. The big thing with the 6-week course, and the reason why I put it here, even if you end up selling it at your yoga event as well, right? So I took something that I was going to sell at my event and put that in the funnel at this point here at about 30% off, maybe even more, closer to 40% off. Like I gave a really solid discount on this for people that wanted to take advantage of this incredible opportunity now. And so if you have a look at the way that I write that script, it kind of worked. Well, it didn't kind of work. It worked incredibly well. And it just meant that I could walk into the room far more confidently, and that this funnel paid for itself a lot more. If I originally, because I didn't have this on, because I was worried, it's probably the same thing that you were, I was worried that I was selling too much before the event. And I'm like, I want them in the event in the right frame of mind. I don't want to be like selling hardcore and them feeling spammy. And if we added on any more to this, it started to get a bit salesy. So I freaked out and I didn't put this on for about my first 40 events. And it was just, everything was just tight. Like I'd be a little bit behind before I walked in the room financially, and I'd always be trying to just keep up. When I added this in for the next 60 events, that's when the profitability became so much higher, and that's when the stress and the pressure lifted off me a little bit, because I had this extra breathing space with the people that took advantage of it before. So, and then when they get in the room, they're super excited because they see that this same program, instead of $197, is like $397 or $297. Like, great, awesome, made a saving. I'm already in that. How exciting! So, put it on there. I had 0 complaints. I had 0 people telling me, "Oh, you sell too hard." I had none of that, not one. But I was selling at least 10% of people that bought tickets. At least 10% would take advantage of this as well. So if you sell 100 tickets in a month, or whatever you end up selling, if you sell 100 tickets, you've just made an extra $2,000, right? If it's at 197. So, I mean, you don't have to put it on. I can't force you to do that, but from my experience, having it on and not having the VIP, not having the upsell too, was massive in terms of the profitability of the event, and just the stress before I walked into the room was just removed. I hope that helps, Kate, in explaining that a bit better. Next question. Who was next? And for those that have just joined, welcome. I'm in a slightly different setup today because we're filming in my office, so I've just moved out here to another room and making do. Question in the right-hand chat box, pop it in. I can see all the questions and I'm answering them in order from first through to last, but you can only see your own. So ask whatever you want related to business. And then if you sent me a question in the portal in advance, can you let me know that in the chat box? And I'll be able to go through and check for that as well. So just let me know in the chat box, hey, Grace, I've put something in the portal, like Tonya has. So Tonya, why isn't this going in alphabetical order? Tonya's not in there. Maybe you've submitted in coaching calls, which is fine. I can go and grab that. Tonya, I can't see it. If it's not in here, it usually means I've answered it or you haven't uploaded it properly. Some people forget to hit the final submit button and it doesn't come through. Tony, can you just jump in again and try putting your logo in one more time? Can you check out my logo in the portal? Yeah, I can't see it in the form in the portal. Can you just jump in one more time and upload it to the form in the portal, and I'll be able to give you some feedback on that as well. Shatana, awesome. Let me know. Let me help you out here, Shatana. So my ad's been running for 28 hours. I'm guessing you mean 48 hours, or you're just very precise on exactly how long it's been running. So I've got a bricks and mortar location. So Adam suggested using a set location and let Facebook do the work on reaching the correct people. Totally. So I've entered location, sex, age, and no interests. Now, this is what's recommended only. So the way that geographic targeting works when you've got a small area. So if you're in a big capital city, I wouldn't do this. But if you're in a smaller area, if you're in a smaller city or in your more of a regional area, or you're servicing a space that's that might not have a couple of 100,000 people in it, full stop, let alone in your interest group, if you put in your gender, age, and then that location demographic, sometimes that'll be actually quite a small group just as it is. If you were to then go and put an interest in on top of that when it's already a small geographical region, it's only really for bricks and mortar locations and people that serve geographical location, like local trades, businesses, and some professional services. So if you go even tighter by putting interests in, sometimes it can just be far too small. The good thing about Facebook is that they start testing it out. If you put in those main demographics, they start testing it out in front of those types of people, and the robots will optimize for it. So once they start to get clicks and they will start watching people who are clicking, and they'll start watching them as they move through your funnel, and they'll start to optimize for you. And because it's such a small audience, they can get quite specific quite quickly without you having to put interests in. So that, please note, that is only when you've got a smaller brick and mortar region, like geographical region, that you're servicing in or have a physical presence in. And yes, correct, you can't go smaller than 17 kilometres. I can't remember what the miles is. Is the miles no smaller than 10 miles, I think it is, but 17 kilometres is what it is in Australia. Reach is only 209 people. Wow, so you've put far too narrow. You're either in a tiny town, which I can't imagine. Oh, Narrabeen. 209 people. Hold on one second. So it's a bit hard for me to tell what ad set you've set. If I were you, I know that there's probably a demographic sitting in there, but if I were you, I'd go from 30 to 65 plus there. And is it definitely only females you work with? If it is, then it's only females you work with. But if it's, just double check, it's definitely only females you work with. Now, the reach, 209 people, that's not the audience size, that's the reach with the budget. That's not going to be true. You're going to be able to reach more people than that. That's the reach with the budget that you've currently got, and that will continue to grow and expand. So I think this is what it is, where it's getting a bit confusing. You're confusing reach with audience size. So your audience size, when you hit on ad set and hit edit, you'll be able to see how many people fit that audience. There's far more than 209 people. The reach is just how many people you've been able to reach with the money you've spent so far. That's all that is. So you've been in front of a few hundred people for $8. And from what I can see right here, I think 6 of them have clicked. So if 6 of them have clicked and you're wanting to convert here at least 20%, then you should be looking at least capturing an email or two. So yeah, again, let it play for, with an audience this small, I'd probably let it roll out for 3 full days. And at the end of 3 days, I'd have a look at what my clicks were averaging out at, and what my emails, more importantly. Are you doing email capture? I'm guessing you are. Just got to make sure that we know exactly where we're sending them to first. Like obviously Adam's, I'm not sure on your exact campaign that you've built this for. Adam would be like just follow whatever he said when you've asked him on Facebook. But yeah, I can't really tell from the screenshot you've sent me. But if you're capturing emails, remember this is your whole focus. You need to try and figure out how cheap you can get an email address from in your area is your whole focus. So don't worry about the reach, long story short. That's just, it just hasn't been running long enough for you to get in front of heaps of people. And it is a niche, right? You are in a Narrabeen's only got so many people in that space. It's big enough, but I wouldn't freak out too much at all. Okay, next question is from, hope that helps, Shatana. Renee. Let me have a look, Renee. Does this sound like yours here? I set up a Twitter account. I just got a few Renees in here. Is this yours, Renee? Renee Nofke? Can you let me know, Renee, so I can answer that one as well? I don't want to answer a different Renee who's not in there. What about the tracking? Shatani, you just got to make sure that you look at the email tracking. So cost per email is what you're looking for. So you should have set up your custom conversion to be optimized towards people that get to this page. So it's the whole focus, people that get to this page. And as a result, Facebook will let you know how many of the people got to this page and what the average cost was of people that got to this page. If they get to this page, you know you've got an email. So that's the cost of an email for you. Renee, cool. So I set up my Twitter account last year. So that was when I registered. Oh, so that it was registered for when I launched my business. I just went back in to see what other @handles are available, and I can't have my full name as it's one letter too long for Twitter. Is it really? I didn't know it was that short because yours isn't very long. That's a full business name. What are your thoughts? Yeah, so she's just, basically her business name isn't available. And there's a version of it without the S on the end, and she's trying to figure out how to approach that. This part of social sucks a little bit. For example, I could get my name on Instagram, but I couldn't get my name on Facebook and Twitter. And so I've got Grace Lever Biz, which is lame, and I wish I'd have chosen something else now, but that's what I chose at the time 3 years ago. So yeah, I feel your pain. There's no real way around it. Has it impacted me at all? I mean, I don't think I can quantitatively say, but no. I've never received feedback. I've never seemed to have issues around my social handles not completely aligning. As long as you've got them all hooked up and linking to each other. So on your Facebook profile, you've got your Twitter and all of your other accounts linked in there in terms of in your profile, and then same in your Twitter, you can put in associated links, you can put in Facebook. So they're all kind of in this link wheel linking to each other. That definitely helps from a Google point of view, because there's a couple of things that impacts. One, it impacts from an SEO point of view and from a Google authority point of view if they can see your whole digital footprint online. So if all of your handles are completely different and it's hard to pick up that they're all one brand, then Google won't be able to give you as much authority. Whereas if you're linking them all to each other, Google really quickly goes to Facebook and says that's related to that Twitter and that's related to that Instagram, and it's able to kind of follow that link wheel, and it increases your domain authority as a reputable kind of brand online. So from an SEO point of view, but a lot of us, SEO is a part of our business, but probably not the lifeblood of our business. The main one, as you're saying, is around people checking out the handle and then trying to find you. If they're coming from that way, so if in terms of them ever typing in that handle or getting confused between the different handles or between getting to your website, if they're on your website, to get to your social profiles, you should always have those in the top right-hand corner and in the footer, if not in other places on the page. So you should always have little social icons there anyway, so they're never actually typing it in from your website, they're clicking. On the flip side, if they're on your social profiles and you want them to go and find your website, again, there should be links, link in your bios for Twitter and Instagram, link on your Facebook profile, so they can easily, again, get from social to website. So the way they're conversing between others is typically on clicks, not manually typing in. Long story short, no, it hasn't mattered. No, I can still build like high 7-8 figure businesses without having to worry about my social media handles all matching up. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to disagree with me there, but if you want to know my opinion, it hasn't mattered at all. Okay, next question. Who's next? By the way, your skin looks amazing. Oh, thanks. The light in that room makes your skin look amazing. Yeah, I'll go with that. Thanks, Tonya. Tonya, I've definitely sent it twice now. I have the window and confirmation page open. Let me hit refresh. How weird. Maybe it's, I'll search. Yeah, I've got 2 now. Don't know why it didn't come through. They're normally immediate. Let me have a look. So Tonya is sending me through. She's doing money coaching for new mums. Oh, I love this one. Is it you that's doing them in this, like working with families and they become pregnant as well? One of my team members who's pregnant was like, I really want to get in touch with her and sort this out because it's always scary when you get to that point. Okay, so Tonya has sent through her brand, like a style guide and her branding, which I'm guessing someone professional has done for her. Either that or you're just, I'm sure. Otherwise you're just amazing designer yourself, which is a great mix of skill sets to be good with money and creative. So I'm just having a look at her brand. I'll just specifically look at what your exact question here was. Which logo do you like the feedback on? I mean, which logo do you like? Can you give me some feedback on what I could change or how to make it better? I want to have a brighter color to pop on the screen, but I don't want it to be untrustworthy. So she's working with mums and she wants it to be relatable and approachable, but not lose the seriousness of what she's talking about as well. So let me share my screen because let's all have a look at this. It's done with. We've got a few options here. Let's have a look. We've got this one here, Master That Money. And she's gone from a navy to a more muted, the updated navy, is a more muted blue. Yeah, so she's gone to it's almost got like a touch of tealy side in it. It's going more towards that green teal. So it's a less masculine version, totally. And I like your pink. I don't think it's too, I know it's bright, but I think it could be really hot. And it's not hot. I like it that it's gone more towards that sort of fuchsia side than that hot pink side. We've got that. Master That Money. Master That Money. Master That Money. I'm just going to have a quick scan first. Okay, in my opinion, I think this looks a little bit too, I really like that font, but I think in your place you lose your authority. I think it's a little bit too soft and not new agey, as in like, this is just my personal opinion. I'm sure everyone in here's got them. I'd love you to put them in the chat box. I feel like this one's a bit too, what's the word, like too digital, too computer world. I want it to be a little bit more trust building, which is why I don't like this one. I don't think that works in lowercase. I do think it works in uppercase. So I think either, in my opinion, it'd be this one or the uppercase. Yeah, I quite like that, but I think it's too playful potentially. But it works much better than some of the others. I think it's either the top one or one of these two bottom ones, in my opinion. Kind of got to see them together. This one here or this one here. That's what I'm tossing up between. I mean, this kind of has that more old school authority, whereas this is very clean and quite good looking. I'm not adverse either. They're all really good. I'm not averse to this. And this is almost that, what's that, My Budget color? Yeah, you're almost getting towards that My Budget style, sort of relatable and approachable and future pace. More like moving forward. It's a hard one. Well, these are so hard. This is why I'm so glad I haven't had to choose my logo lately. We're doing a whole rebrand though, so I'm gonna have to go through this myself as well. Because I quite like that. Oh, this is hard. Let's see what the girls say. Girlies, can you let me know? Let's call this one playful. Tell me if you like playful. It's called, or if you like, we'll call the bottom one clean, and we'll call this top one like that more courier style. Tell me what you like and we'll see. And again, this, you'll get literally, like sometimes people get 100+ comments and you'll be able to see a really one. A lot of people are liking the first one. A lot of people liking the first one, not the third one. It's too juvenile. Okay, a lot of people didn't like the one that I was leaning more towards. The bottom one. They were all liking the top one. And that's the same thing that I had. Kirsty was saying, oh, no, now a few people liking the cleaner one at the bottom. So I agree with what Kirsty was saying. The minimizing of the master that money, I can kind of see the philosophy around doing that and wanting those two words to stand out almost together themselves. But as Kirsty said, one, just make them work together by themselves. You know what I mean? Master money. If you're going to have master that money, let's put that in the same as the other. That's a bit weird. That felt a bit, have I missed something here? Just at first glance, if I missed something here, no, it's supposed to be master that money. It's just that the word that's smaller. I know why they're wanting a key emphasis on master and money, but I don't think that was necessary in my opinion either. Jess also likes the business one. We've got the majority leaning towards the first ones, the more business style, more financial, conservative style. Because you got the pink in there to be playful, right? So now if I were you, I'd be putting in the Doing Academy group as well and seeing if that aligns, that feedback aligns too. A bit exciting. It's a good look. I like it. Now, where's my next question? Hope that helps, Tanya. Got something in my eye. And you can come in anytime because you told me my skin looks lovely. Okay, who's next? Did I answer yours, Renee? I'm trying to remember. Yes, I did. You're the Noki. Yes, the script for my second upsell, Kate. You can just go. Oh, no, you can't. It's nowhere. Basically, it's the thank you page script. So I'm pretty sure you've been in the Identity Project, Kate. You have. It's the thank you page script. Same as that. So it acknowledges what they've done before, reminds them that was a wise move, and then asks them if they want to achieve something faster and better than they could kind of on their own. And use words about that should be your intimate and your exclusive and those kinds of words. And then limited spots available. That allows you, and kind of like I wanted to give you the opportunity, if you're really serious about this, to take advantage of this now. It's only going to be available at this price on this page. That's the big key about that. Because at the event, it's actually going to be more. And you don't have to say, I'm going to sell it at the event, so they don't feel like it's going to be too salesy. But that's where you let them know it's only the price on this page. So I want to give you a chance, if you're serious about this and you want to take those next steps together, I wanted to give you the chance to get in now and take advantage of this incredible opportunity. Yania, your question is in the portal. I want to know your opinion on my lead magnet as to the design, the content, whether it's valuable enough. Good question. Person who's transcribing this video, it's YENIA. Yeah, I don't think I've pronounced yours before. Okay, small businesses online, why and how locals can and should go digital. Cool. Awesome. Beautiful. Okay, so good girl. Awesome. Type on page 10 the click here. Okay, a couple of good tips that will really help. First things first, sorry, but my eye, I'm just like, you want my advice? My eyes really hurt from reading white text on black background. I know design-wise and look and feel-wise, that's aligned with your brand, but you can't do a whole program with white text on. You can't do a whole download with white text on black background. It can't be that black. You might even be able to do grey, but you just can't do that black. The other thing is, just psychologically, it's the brain is trained to read black on white or dark on light. If you try and read light on dark, it really hurts. And that was just from me trying to read it for 30 seconds. So it sucks because it looks good, but it's just a tough read. The other thing, everything else is looking pretty good. The only other thing is make sure that the content, when you've got big chunky paragraphs, basically all your content should be left aligned, not centered. When you've got a whole page of content that's all centered, again, very hard to read. And subconsciously most people give when it's centered. The only things that should be centered should be headlines, but it's too hard to read chunky text paragraph centered. So make sure they're left aligned. And the other thing is I would try and make sure that you're just a couple of things need a bit more spacing. Some of those chunky, that's all. But I think it would be easier if they were left aligned and I might be able to read them a little better. But I think you need a little bit more white space in some of those paragraphs. There's just a bit too much text. Like page, why is it not showing me the page? The business listing and reviews page is good, but then when you go on to rankings and visibility, very hard to read. A, because it's centered, but B, because if it's because the paragraphs are a bit chunky in that long style. So I would try and have paragraphs that weren't over 5 lines, but it will be much easier to read when it's left aligned. I like the action style of it. I think that's really powerful. So, and the last page there, the thank you page. Don't ask them to subscribe to your newsletter. Don't ask them to visit your website or check out your contact page. Ask them. Hi, I'm just in a meeting. Ask them, come on in though. Ask them to go to the lead magnet page. Right, so they're going to this one here. So another call to action. So in terms of, we're not pushing them to any oh no, hold on, this is the lead magnet. Sorry, we're pushing them to this page, right? So instead of the lead magnet, push them to this page here. So when they get the lead magnet delivered, just have a think about where the lead magnet's going, right? So they put here on the lead magnet landing page, they put their email in, and on the back end, they're getting put into a nurture. On the front end, they'll see this offer next, but on the back end, they're getting put into this nurture, this likable lady nurture, right? Just a little bit of a lovely. This first email at the top will have this attachment. People that get to this point and are sitting in this nurture need to be pushed back to here, right? And this page here is a small commitment of time or money. So it's a consult. In your case, I would be pushing them through to, I would be not pushing them, but I'll be inviting them and directing them to this page here, which your best good consult offer, right? So we're not using the word newsletter. We're not using the word subscribe. They're two really dirty words. We're back in here and we're offering them, instead of cash, we're offering them an opportunity to take a step towards us with a time commitment. That's a clock. And this is a consult with you. The biggest thing is making sure that you name the consult. Don't just say a consult because I feel it's really salesy. So name consult, and I was going to say something else about that. Name the consult and make sure that you're really benefits focused with why the heck, with all the busy things on the list and how full their schedule is, why they should take that time out to have a half hour and 45-minute consult with you. Next question is from Stacey. She posted one in the portal, dropping the kids at school. Sorry, I'm late. That's fine. There's no real time on these sessions. Oops. I just hit back. Forward. Thought that was my makeup artist, but it was just tiny. Okay. Stacey, got yours here. Hi, Grace. Wondering what program you use to create your slide decks and record your voice over the top of them before you upload them into the portal. So I don't have Windows PowerPoint. Is that what you use? So was after the upload to view. Yeah. So she was after an alternative to PowerPoint. I don't have one. So you got to use a slide pack creator, which is either PowerPoint or I use Keynote on a Mac. So you'd have to use some slide pack creator. I don't have any other alternative for that. It would just be, it would look really homemade if you used Word and tried to, I mean, you know what you could do? This is a lot more, just like get PowerPoint. It's like, I don't know, $5 a month or something super cheap. But or you can use a Keynote on a Mac. But I would, if you really want to work around, you would do a Microsoft Word document landscape way and put your slides on separate pages and you PDF it. And then you could open up the PDF in your screen and hit next, next, next to go through it page by page in like a PDF preview or whatever comes on your computer. When you double click a PDF, or just open up in, usually preview and then next. That's probably the only alternative. But I would highly recommend, if you're going to be doing slide packs, grab PowerPoint on a PC or a Keynote on a Mac and move through the slide packs in that way. So the way that I do it is I make my slide pack. Once it's done, I hit record on a recording thing on my computer. So if you're on a Mac, you can use QuickTime, lets you record your screen. QuickTime or iMovie also lets you record your screen. If you're on a PC, Windows Movie Maker lets you record your screen for free. If you're on Mac and you want a paid version that I really like, it's ScreenFlow. You'll find all of this in Module 7 of the Doing Academy. ScreenFlow is what I use. It's a paid version for a Mac, but it's really good. Anyway, using one of those tools, there's always an screen record camera or putting your camera into the system. And so I just hit record. I have my presentation up on my screen. And I just, hit the next button on my keyboard as I talk through the slide pack. At the end, I press stop record, and then normally I'll have to cut off the bit at the beginning and the end, and I might have made a mistake in the middle somewhere, and I might cut that as well, and then you get ready to go. I can export it, and if it's a training video, I want it to be private, so I'll upload it into Vimeo. If it's a video that I want to have go viral, like a how-to video or something that I wanted to put and have people find, more of the prospect side rather than the customer side. If it's free content, I'll put it on YouTube. If it's paid content, I'll put it on Vimeo. So they're your two options. What else was I going to say? All of that is in Module 7 with further help in there. Hope that helps, Stacey. But yeah, you could do it, I guess, in Word with your page on landscape and create it that way in Word or a system like Word, but it's much easier and quicker and will probably design-wise look better and more professional if you use a proper PowerPoint or Keynote. Amber, I sent a question into the portal and took your advice last week. Cool. I have GetResponse, but it doesn't work very well with Weebly, but I did as much as I could for now. Awesome. But you sent a question into the portal. Cool. Let me go and have a look. Amber. Oh, yes, cool. The makeup challenge. That's right. So, yes. Target market is girls 18 to 35. Want some help or some of my thoughts on monetization of this. Right now, she's promoting pre-orders. Hold on one second. 3-week interactive makeup challenge with weekly webinars, dates, etc. Is the 3-week challenge, is that your lead magnet? If it is, maybe a bit too long. Normally free challenges are 5 or 7 days, and they should pay a sort of, minimum price if they want to do something that's over that time. I would say this here is a 5 or so day challenge, whereas this stuff here is more like 4 or 6 weeks when they're actually paying you. They have to pay you some sort of cash for that though. So I feel like that sits in between. It's almost a little too chunky for a lead magnet. And yeah, it's kind of starting to push over into product territory. I would probably try and make the challenge 5 to 7 days. But hey, you can test both. Totally up to you. Pre-order, we'll have early access to film, also sending screeners to social media influencers. Yeah, film and release. So she's got a film releasing on the 15th of July. She wants to do live events and then later online courses. What is your opinion for suggestion of timing of all of this and how to promote it the best way? I don't want to overwhelm my potential customers. Stop talking like that. It doesn't happen. you're in a saturated world if you don't communicate and keep giving your community opportunities to connect, engage, receive value, and buy from you. You will be forgotten. Far too much out there for us to think that we could overwhelm our prospects or customers. It's in almost every case, it's always the alternate, it's always the opposite that's happening when I look at the businesses of female entrepreneurs. But I think one of the probably the truth that lies in what you're just saying there lies around your message being too mixed and being too varied and not being simple and obvious enough, so that element might become a bit overwhelming. What's she doing? Is this a film or is this a course or is this there's a little bit of that could definitely become overwhelming, but not in the frequency or the amount of opportunities that you give to them and connect with them when it comes to your communications. So the biggest thing for you, in your case, it's all about building an email list, right? And building an email list profitably. So upfront, the value ladder isn't super strong because we've only got the events that we can push people to. So I would try and be building that email list, but I would also, if I were you, try and have some sort of mini course so that I'm at least breaking even, that I can be offering people as they come through. So you've got your initial lead magnet. I'd try and have some sort of mini course, and it's like literally sell it first, and then if it works, then you can go and make it. Don't spend heaps of time on that now, because you might have to test a couple of different offers to figure out what they want. Do you want a 4-week challenge? Do you want an online 6-part training? And what exactly on the industry do you want that on? Do you want to come from more of a commercial side or more of a craft side, in terms of are they practicing their craft or are they learning how to turn that into a business? Like having a look at the way that they take you up on this offer. You might want to test maybe even up to 3 different things on this page for a week each. Get 100 people to this page. So send people through the funnel. Once they've downloaded, get 100 people to this page when it's a 4-week makeup challenge that they've got to pay $27 for. And then try getting 100 people through to that page with depends on your experience, a consult could be a good one to offer. Or get 100 people through to that page and offer them a 6-part training on the business side of it, whatever it looks like for you. Getting people through, and after you've sent 100 people to a couple of different offers, you'll be like, yeah, this is clearly what they really, really want. So I'm going to focus in on that one. But because you haven't sold to your market in this way before, and you're not 100% sure on what they're after and the way that you can help them best, you're going to have to test it. And your market will just tell you, right, with how much they click and buy. So I'd test a couple of offers there, but I'd look, we need to get a low price point around $17 to $37. If you can go as high as $97, if it's like a 6-part online course and it's around particularly the business side, you can definitely go as high as $97 as that first purchase. But I just want to get some of those coming through. I would if I were you, so I could liquidate and pay for the emails that I was generating, right? Because emails cost money. To get those people into your email community, you want to have something there liquidating that. I know you've got the events, but the events, I don't want to have to rely on those. The events really should be about covering a lot of costs that went into that production and being able to grow the business and take it to the next step. We want the email list to pay for itself with an initial low-priced offer. Then you've got that email list there. I want you to love that email list up. And I normally do, value, value, sell, like kind of make sure that you keep giving them some little mini. And value isn't like a full hour makeup tutorial. Value is a little 5-minute video that you did on this, or a little thought of the day, or a tip, or a checklist or stuff like that, right? And keep selling. Once your launch is over, obviously you're going to be working really hard around the launch, working up to the launch and for the first week after the launch. So normally 2 weeks before the launch and 1 week after the launch. Working really hard on pushing that to any purchases. Now, you're not going just geographical, are you, to go and see the actual film screenings? Hopefully there's a digital version that people can watch no matter where they are in the world. If you're only pushing people to the film screenings, I thought that sounded wrong, to the film screenings, then you're really going to have to segment off your database. And you're going to have to do an ad for this geographical area of people that are in this region, talk about that event and only the people that come through that lead magnet. will you keep nurturing back to that film screening? Does that make sense? Because if you just target everyone and then start talking about film screening, it's only going to apply to such a small percentage of your database that are actually geographically located near one of those areas. You can let your wider database know about them, but you definitely wouldn't want to keep pushing and saturating that because you don't know where they live and what's going to suit them best, if they can make any of them. So that would be the only thing there. You could do event-based ads to fill up screenings in different areas and have a separate list and nurture for those guys to get them along. But then if you're wanting to grow a wider community to be able to move this business towards something that's more scalable beyond a screening, then that's where you push an online lead magnet like that makeup challenge, going through into a low price course so that you can start to liquidate some of your traffic. Liquidate meaning that it pays for itself. So I build email lists. What's happened to my words? I build email lists for free. So I don't pay to get emails anymore. I actually make money building my email list. It's because of the way that you structure the funnel to make sure that you're monetizing it as quickly as possible. Now, the next question is from, you're welcome, guys. Jane, thanks so much for your feedback last week. I'd love to know your feedback on the changes. It's still not there. It's just design-wise, it's not there. Is this actually using a Leadpages template? Because it's just look-wise not working. Just from a design point of view, it doesn't click at all. So first things first, the button should be on the right-hand side and it should be under, the testimonial should always be under the button. So if you've got a button, having a testimonial below the button increases a testimonial or a bio, an authority piece, increases your click-through rate usually by 30%. So that's why I've got the testimonial there. So it's good you put it there. I would put the button definitely above the testimonial, but because the teal is so intense, the button's lost right there. So if it's on the other side, maybe I'm just trying to visually imagine the button on the other side, I think would be easier to see. Yeah, I mean, you could test it. I don't think that this page will work very well. It's definitely not a template I've recommended. And the background color just is too intense now. If it were me, I would make the background color white or I'm trying to figure out how to explain it better. Because, like, can I just show you a quick example? Oh, damn it. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I do. I'll quickly be able to find it and show you an example. So just so you can see why there will be probably issues with the way that it's currently structured and the design you've currently got going on. Just a second. Let me just quickly log into my ClickFunnels and grab one of the templates. What's my password? I don't know. That? Maybe? Yay. So here it is. Okay, where is it? Just trying to find the right page, the right version. 1 second. Yeah, this one here. So like this example is basically a very similar niche to yours. Share screen. Can you see how the focus is not on the background color? The focus is on the content. This page converts at about mid-40s, 46-ish%. So, and see how the buttons on the right-hand side under the benefits, then we've got that testimonial below, Can you make one that looks more like this in Lead Pages? Because I know you can, but would you be able to do that? I know it's possible, or get someone else to do that in Lead Pages, because the version of the page how it is right now, it's just not going to be super successful. So we just need to tweak it to make it look more just the conversion points here. The logo on the left-hand side is really critical. The contact details to show that you're an actual brand and you're willing to talk to people is really important. Not many people actually end up needing to email that, but they know that you're a reputable brand, you're willing to talk, and they end up more likely to click here and put the email address in. Are you capturing just email? Yeah, that's the other big ones as well. Email address only, not first name, email only. So I'll definitely be looking at the templates that I recommend in the Doing Academy and trying to build them as closer to this as possible. And more white space than color space is usually better. So I hope that helps a bit, but it may be the biggest thing is that my templates work and convert. I mean, you could go and launch that page and maybe be really successful, but just from my experience in marketing psychology, I don't believe it will. But there's no reason why you can't go and test that for $15 just to prove yes or no on that. But the ones that I know will work are the ones that I've developed to be the highest converting, which are pages like that one there that I just showed you. So if the closer you can get it to that, the more likely you will be having higher conversion rates on that page. But it may require you to grab a Lead Pages expert and someone who can jump in and do that for you, or at least get a template that looks a lot more like the template that I just showed you. And if you want to have a look at the way that page is laid out, it's earlyyears.lisastatham.com, earlyyears.lisastatham.com/witching-hour. So I'll put it in here as well. That's a really good landing page for service-based businesses and lead magnets. It doesn't work as well with competitions. There's another one that I recommend for competitions. But yeah, you'll be able to see all of that in Module 3 inside the Doing Academy. Okay, next question. Cool. Do I do 2 separate funnels? So Jess's question is, she's got face-to-face consults and then she's also got treatments. Does she do 2 separate funnels for each? One second. I'll just quickly look at the website and just have a quick look at how different they are in terms of the treatments. So I can see here you've got the treatments and the massages, and then you've got consultations. Cool. 2 different funnels they are. Are they? Physical location. No, maybe it's not, because they're both on a similar topic. I think you invite them to inquire and have a custom, have a consultant chat through kind of the recommended solution for them. I think you're in too much of a specialist niche to expect them to make those decisions themselves without a chat. So I would talk about your consultations and your therapies, and the fact that if they put in on this page their first name, last name, email, phone, you'll have one of your personal consultants, experienced consultants, be able to chat with them on the phone and discover a holistic approach for their own unique situation, the one that's going to suit them best and achieve that optimal health in all aspects of your life, that kind of stuff. So, and then you can pick up the phone and make that call there, whether you feel like it's best for them to come in for an assessment or a consultation, or come in for a therapy treatment instead. That's the way that I'd go. So first name, last name, email, phone, that there is an inquiry. You can pick up the phone, you can convert, 1 in 4, 1 in 5 of those. minimum. A lot of girls convert a lot more than that, but you can convert 1 in 4, 1 in 5 of those into a paying customer, which can work really well. Yeah, that's why I'd be approaching that. Good question. I hope that helps, Jess. You're welcome, guys. Sarah, I submitted a question in the portal. Let me have a look, Sarah. Maybe it was in the other portal. Sarah, are you Sarah right? Hold on. Just sorted by first name. Are you Sarah Whiteman? I've got one in here for the Identity Project coaching call questions, which I can answer here now if that's you. Sarah is your name. Hold on. You want to get free tickets? I'll just double check if that's. Don't think that's you. Oh, is that you? Can you just let me know, Sarah, and I'll be able to help out with that and answer your question ASAP. If it's not your question, I don't have one in the portal, but I can answer it here right now. Current target market is females and males singles, 25 to 44. I offer low-key social activities for singles to meet per month. And I think anxiety often stops people from attending. The feedback is super positive. It's people that don't tend to go to pubs and bars or use online dating to help them find those, face-to-face connections and relationships. Is there a way to do, I'm using Get Response with Stripe, and can I do like $1 things before they buy? Absolutely. Even when I give free tickets, which you can also do with Stripe, even when I do free tickets, they still don't sign up to events. Just double check that was the full question. Cool. Yeah, no, it's Sarah Russ, right? Cool. Yeah. So the way that you're talking right now is too broad in the sense that we need to figure out what's broken in the funnel. That would always be the first thing I do. So I don't just look at the funnel, run it for a week, spend money and don't get any results and go, oh, it's all broken, it's not working. I always go, okay, what's not working? So I'm looking so you'll be obviously got your lead magnet ready to go, putting that up there on this page here. And you need to be able to look at your numbers and you'll easily, don't like take guesswork at this point, you'll easily be able to see what's working and what's not. People need to be clicking on the Facebook ad first for a reasonable-ish price, right? So you need to be running your Facebook ads, and for those first 48 hours, you should be able to tell whether you're getting a conversion, an email address for $5 or less. And you'll know that by following my training inside the portal, my Facebook training. So if your emails are hitting $5 or less, then if you've got a solid business model, you'll be able to make money out of that, good money out of that. I'm actually paying $8 for my emails and I don't care because I've got a very solid business model. So if you go from Facebook ads, you need to be making sure that firstly, you're able to get leads for $5. If you're not getting emails for $5, I would go back and make sure that this page is converting at 20%. Right, so if you're not getting them for $5, make sure this page is converting at 20%. So what is this page converting at? If it's converting at 10%, then it's not necessarily the ad that's the problem, it's the page. It's not congruent, it's not designed well, it hasn't got marketing principles on it, and so I'd be looking more at the page and fixing that. If, however, my landing page was converting really highly, it's probably more to do with the cost of my clicks, so the ad isn't good enough or the demographics aren't great enough, but normally that's not the problem. I don't think I've seen that like this whole year. It's usually the landing page that's the problem. If the landing page is converting at 20% or more, you're usually able to get emails for $5 or less. So if you're getting them for $5, tick. Don't look at this right now. Tick, tick. If you're getting them for $5, these things are both working. So you can go on to the next step, right? So have a look at this page. Is this page converting at 10% or more? That next step that you want people to take. If 10% or more people aren't taking you up on your events or whatever it is you've got on this page, $1 tickets, free tickets, if you're not getting any traction there, They don't want what you've got. You're not offering it the right way. If you know that you get great feedback, then you're not communicating that properly to prospects, right? And you're not dealing with enough objections in that video on this page. And same thing with these emails. If you're not getting any results from the email, you're not connecting with them. They're not engaged. They're not trusting you. They're not wanting what you've got enough. So we need to work on that copywriting. We need to work on that message to figure out how it is they want us to talk to them, what it actually is that's keeping them up at night, what those pain points are, and the best way to deal with those objections. Because you're in an industry that needs to be super high trust, and that's very strongly built on testimonials and not case studies, but that kind of testimonials and positive feedback. So this page for me, if I was in your space, this page would have it would have the offer up the top, and then below it, I'd have like 20 testimonials, so that people are like, that person sounds like me. That person has my same fear and she loved it. This guy here was like struggling with this, and that's exactly where I'm at, like, right? So everyone can kind of find an alignment, a pull with some of the people on that testimonial page. So this page would be covered with testimonials, and I'd be using that same social proof through these emails as well. So that's the biggest thing, figuring out what's broken. It might be as easy as this landing page just needing love because it's not converting at 20% or more. But alternatively, if it is, and these two are both working, you're getting emails for $5 less, we can build a business out of that. You're not selling them what they really, really want, right? And there's a few things here too. I'll just quickly run you through a couple of them. A few main sales triggers. One moment. That I want you to consider. Just write some of these down, and you might need to start peppering these a bit more through your emails and through your landing page copy. I'll just go like that a bit more, so I don't just have a talking head on the screen. Let me just have a quick look. Sales. So here's a couple of strategies, because you've got to remember, selling, like, you can absolutely sell without feeling like you're selling. Your product or service should be the perfect match for your ideal customer, right? You should actually go the other way around. Your ideal customer truly and honestly needs and wants your product or service, right? That should be the first situation. So all you're doing is marrying these two things up. You're not having to force or twist people's arm to get into that. You're just having to communicate the benefit and how perfect that relationship, that matchup is for them. A few ways to do, and the reason why they don't buy from you is because either A, they don't want your product or service. You can't change that. But B or C, the two other reasons why they won't buy from you is because either they don't trust you or they don't trust themselves that they can, they can achieve what you promise that this product or service can achieve, or they can solve the problem that this product or service solves. So they either don't trust you or they don't trust themselves. So we need to remove those two barriers to make sure they just perfectly align. You've got this problem, I've got this solution, and can you see how this is like a no-brainer for you? That's where we have to get to. So a few things to do that. You need to build confidence in your emails. So you need to show them this brand new day of what it will look like when they're able to find that solution, right? Which in your case is such a beautiful brand new day to paint, right? That picture, that brand new day that you're trying to help them achieve is life-changing. Like, that's an easy one in your case. It's not like selling handbags and being, you'll feel great and look stylish and have a place for everything in your new handbag. It's like, no, you're actually going to find a life partner and change your whole future. So that's exciting. And as they start to see, you've got to show them their potential and what's possible with your service, right? And if you can, as quickly as possible, help them to implement some parts of that before they even commit in a big way, they start to build confidence in themselves as well, that this is actually possible for them. So if you've got any little tips or little bits of advice or little kind of mindset breakthroughs that they can feel like they can achieve by reading your emails or watching your video, and they're like, just starting to get those tiny little confidence wins, that will make it much easier when they've got more confidence in themselves. People are addicted to that kind of confidence, and they'll be more inclined to be like, yeah, I want more of that. I can do this. This is possible for me. And the desire increases. I wouldn't be using, you need to use a little bit of urgency as well in there. and talk about the fact that there are limited spots available, which also adds to that social proof. They're selling out fast, those kinds of elements. So you add to that social proof that other people are taking advantage of this, and why aren't I? But also be a real human and connect with them. Those statements like, don't you hate it when? That whole empathy that needs to come through in your email, that you totally get them, that they're not alone, that everyone at this event totally, there's no judgment here. There's no, like we're all extremely aware and extremely understanding of the pain point that they're all sharing at that event, right? Just totally make that really real. Compared to the people that are those, particularly in this space, those people who, never seem to struggle, have it all together, are super, super positive, find the positive side in everything. Your market aren't feeling that, right? And so they need to know, they need to be able to connect with you. They can't connect with you when all you talk about is a dream. So there are times where you need to pull it back and talk about where they're at and let them know that they're not alone. Never underestimate the power of people knowing they're not alone in that, and that bringing people together. Super relatable. I wouldn't use fear too much in these. I think it's a bit of a sensitive space to use fear. Have you? No, I wouldn't use. You can tell truths around statistics that actually prove that they need to make a change, or prove that these strategies or tools get results. But I don't think that's a big issue there. I don't think that's going to kind of hit the point. I think they're probably your main ones. And then also that the kind of human need for acceptance, right? It's a real human need to be a part of a group and be warmly accepted into that fold, into that community of like-minded people. So to be able to build that trust, be able to build that respect, building those communities and kind of making this really feel like almost like a family works incredibly well in those spaces as well. Being able to identify with this movement and with this approach to living, which is what you're doing as well. It's really powerful. So consider a few of those in your copywriting, but if I were you, the first thing I'd be doing, rather than throwing up my hands in the air and going, oh, none of this works, I'd be like, let's figure out exactly what it is. Start at the front and work your way through and just fixing the problems as we go. Do I have instructions on how to advertise on LinkedIn? I can't find my market on Facebook. Sure. So let me know what your market is, Arlene. This is Arlene's question, and I'll be able to give you some feedback because I've never not been able to find a market on Facebook. Even whole boards of people, boards of directors who have told me that they can't advertise on Facebook, and they've tried and they've spent heaps of money and it doesn't work. I've still grown their business to 8 figures really quickly through Facebook advertising. So let me know what your market is. But yes, I have LinkedIn training and it is in the paid traffic module of the Doing Academy. It'll just be more expensive. And it only works if you're selling really high-end product, as in services that are worth 50 grand or more to you as a lifetime customer spend. Awesome. Good job, guys. Amanda, yes, I saw your question submitted. Amanda's question is, I'm using a self-liquidating funnel template. Okay, cool. And keep in mind, you only use a self-liquidating funnel template when you've already got a lot of authority. I think we've talked about this before anyway, Amanda. You've got a lot of authority and you're nailing it in more of the face-to-face space. That's only when you're allowed to take it online. You're allowed to start building communities online. Okay. Okay, so I'll just quickly look at the link that you've sent me, because it looks like on one page you've got 2 call to actions, which is not what No, okay, cool, easy. So the weird. So you were just asking about the and I need to double check that one. Hold on, which version are you using? Self-liquidating funnel. I thought I updated this. Yeah, so the answer is that should not be a pop-up. I don't know why that's defaulted to a pop-up. That should not be a pop-up. That should be that both of those buttons should link through to the next page, which is the order form page, right? So you were right, that is weird. That shouldn't be happening. The pop-up shouldn't appear. It should link through the next page. Have I still got an old shared funnel link somewhere? Let me just double check, and I'm going to put my shared funnel for Grace's self-liquidating funnel. Where are you getting that from? Can you tell me where you got that link from? Because I swear I've updated it in the Identity Project. Where have you got that link from? I'm just double checking it. Yeah, the one that I've got here is different. It's just a slightly different funnel, and it's converting slightly better than that one there. You can use that one. It's still, it's a high converting funnel, but this is the one here. I'm just going to hit the copy the share link. I'm just going to have a look at what you said, Amanda. Okay, Arlene, I'm going to come back to yours in a second. You're welcome, Sarah. I hope that helps. Sweet, you're getting emails for $2. That's fine then. We just this offer, the way we're talking about it, isn't working, Sarah. And the best way to test that is in here and in your email copy, and just keep trying different angles. And after a little while, you'll get A, you'll find it much easier to connect with them, but B, you'll just kind of hit something. You'll be like, and this is what I did as well in MySpace, and I kept on like pushing really hard and selling really hard, and it just wasn't getting traction. And then when I hit a certain angle, I was like, oh, that was easy. Gee, I wish I'd known this like a year ago. Would have been able to talk to you in a much more relatable way and been able to communicate this to you much better. But it was just the way that I was communicating it. Oh, you downloaded it a couple of months ago, so it might be an old version. Cool. So yeah, if you want to keep using that version, that's totally fine. The new version does convert better. I feel like I just want to double check that that's the one in the Identity Project, which I will do. But you're 100% right. Can you turn the pop-up off on that button? Can you turn that off and make it just link through to next page? So if you click on it, it'll say open pop-up. Click on the button, it'll say open pop-up in your settings. And instead of saying open pop-up, choose go to next funnel step. And I will just double check because you're making me a little bit nervous now that I've still got the old one in there. I'm quite sure I don't, but let's double check. Membership, e-commerce, live events, webinars, self-liquidating. What is it? Hold on. It ends in 09ZYX. 09, cool. Okay, edit. Awesome. Beautiful. It's a relatively, this is like one that I made some changes to not too long ago, and it's working really well. Just been trying it in different spaces and different niches. Cool. Okay. Next question is from, oh, awesome. Can you guys see and hear me okay? Are you still there? Oh, are you still there? I just kicked myself out of my own webinar. These flipping Mac mouses, if you go back quickly, maybe there's a way to turn that off. It takes you back, and it took me out of my webinar. And now I've lost my questions. You still will be able to see your questions, but the ones that I haven't answered, sorry. Can you just copy and paste them and put them in again if I haven't answered your question? And I'll just quickly work through them now. Sorry. Arlene, you are next. I'm going to wait for you to just copy and paste that industry that you said you're in, Arlene. I think you're around business consulting. Just double check, just put that in again for me. And Arlene, can you tell me your that the niche of the people, like what kind of business space you're working in? Because obviously it's massively broad, from entrepreneurs to high-end corporate and things like that. Sorry guys, can you just put your questions in one more time for me? What a dork am I? Okay, and I'll be able to help out and answer those. Min Kim, your question. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your patience. A quick question about the consult funnel. Once a client schedules the free mini consult, before booking the high-end pack, cool, awesome. How does the question is, how does the whole payment side work when you've got a consult funnel? What's the best way to approach the payment side for a high-end package? What's your recommendation on that process? Thank you so much, Grace. You're welcome. Let me show you, because I do this all the time, and I've done this in 2 previous businesses, as well as a little bit at the beginning of this particular business. And in the 2 previous businesses, this was the whole way. Consult funnels were the whole way that I generated income, anywhere between $5,000 clients up to like $35,000 clients. But a lot of the $5,000 clients turned into hundreds of thousands of dollars over a few years. So let's have a look at how this works. From the consult funnel here, so on this page for her, she's doing not an exchange of cash. She's got a high ticket item that she needs to have a chat with them about first. So she's doing an exchange of time, consult funnel. And on this page, she's asking for first name, last name, email, that's an email symbol, and phone. Then on the next page, she's probably going to send them to a booking calendar, and she's going to do this booking calendar on a free system if she wants, like Calendly 10 to 8 or Timely. Calendly 10 to 8 or Timely, or she'll do it on a, my favorite system is one that I use, Schedule Once. Schedule Once rocks my socks. It's $5 though, it's not free, $5 a month. Contract free, but $5 a month. And then she'll probably, the next page she'll send them to, will usually ask them to fill out an application form. If it's a real high ticket offer, you want them to fill out an application form. A few reasons why. It pre-frames them. And secondly, so they're like, it pre-frames them, and it also qualifies them to make sure you're only speaking to the right people. So you can check out that in the morning of all of your consults. And if you don't feel like one of your consults aligned, so you can be like, hey, I just wanted to reach out. I don't want to waste each other's time. I don't feel like we're a good fit. Here's someone who might be. So you can qualify people a little bit better, make sure you're not talking time wasters, and you can also pre-frame them and make sure that you're asking the right types of questions so that filling in this ensures that they've basically already made the commitment to you. This is just a formality, the chat. So if you want more on that, you can check out mine at inner-circle. Sorry, register.thedoingacademy.com/inner-circle. Register.thedoingacademy.com/inner-circle. Can you please not book in a consult fully though? Because like, don't book a consult, because then it'll take the time out of our schedule and it'll be really frustrating for us. Please don't fill out the form, but that's just a good example of what that looks like. Actually, you know what? The exact example of what it looks like, if you go to register.thedoingacademy.com/inner-circle, to join my inner circle, people have to go through a 15-minute application process so I can make sure that you're a good fit and we can make sure that you're also a nice person, because that's 2 rules around the inner circle, 2 of the biggest ones. So I want to make sure I've got a business model I can confidently grow, which is part of the qualification. And I also want to make sure they're a lovely person that I enjoy and I want to work with, and they're an active doer. If you go to register.thedoingacademy.com/inner-circle, that's awesome, because there's a video at the top of that page that walks them through the booking process. And if you just watch that video, please don't book. But if you want, unless you want to book and you're serious about the inner circle, but please just watch the video on that page and you'll see me walk through the booking process in a video, which is great. Then once that happens, they get an email with a video in it confirming their consult and a bit of kind of a chat. My girls chat with Andy as the person that talks to them and makes sure that they're the right fit, asks them some questions, like a bunch of questions, figures out where they're at, where they want to be, and makes sure that this is the best path for them, and accepts them in if he feels like it's a good fit. So I do a video in that email with Andy. So they get to know him. They're like, right, this is who I'm talking to. This is why I'm talking to him. And we're not going in blind, right? Then it's important to have that chat. And that chat can range from 15 minutes if it's a lower price program, which mine is, all the way up to when I was doing my higher end programs, like 20, 30 grand, I had a 45 minutes scheduled, but I'd usually take the hour. When you're in that kind of a space, any kind of space in this area, always take the credit card in the space and ask them to make a decision in the space. On some occasions, you need to prepare something that's custom. You need more time to prepare that. In my 2 agencies, I would always make sure that I had a package predetermined based on what they put in here. I had a package predetermined that I felt would be the best fit. And I might tweak something in that live setting, but in most cases, the package was what I felt would be the best fit. Or I might have a couple and I know by the end of that chat where I felt I was going to be able to help them most. So try and present the offer in that space. If you can't, and you're really being true to yourself and you literally just can't do it, then you need to let them know that you'll be sending you'll be sending them the information and let them know you'll schedule in a time and chat, look at their calendar. How would Wednesday be a good point to touch base with you? Who do you need to show this to? Okay, cool. Would that be enough time for you to have a chat with your business partner or your life partner or whatever it is? So always scheduling that time for the follow-up chat. And then we can have a chat through any other questions that have popped up and decide if we feel like it's the right fit for you, the next step for you. Hopefully, though, you'll be able to present the actual offer that will suit them best in that consult. And if that's the case, you should be getting credit cards there in the call. Asking people to go and do that themselves later, nightmare. Because people are busy and they don't have time and they forget and you're chasing each other and then it just becomes a whole debacle. So I always try and capture credit card details in that space and process them in that space before the end of the call. And if you've done this well enough, the video well enough explaining what it is, if you've done the application form properly, by the time they have that chat, if you've run that consult properly, by the time they have that chat, they're like ready to go. They've kind of pre-sold themselves. At that point, they're usually selling themselves to me, which is where you need it to be. And then it's just literally marrying up the services. I do it over Skype. In some spaces, I would go face-to-face. But to be honest, when I ran my automation agency, I had big companies in Sydney wanting me to go in face-to-face, and I'd moved to Adelaide, and I was like, no, I can't come in. And they would have people go and pitch, like bringing 6 or 7 people into their offices, and I would pitch from my house on Skype, and I would still win the pitch. So I didn't even have to go in face-to-face. If it's a really big contract, I'm okay with you going in face-to-face, but it'd have to be a lot of money to be worth that. And then during Skype, that's like my second option. My last option is, Skype's my favorite option. My second would be face-to-face if I have to. My least favorite option is phone, but sometimes phone is better in certain niches. It depends on how, on the types of people that I'm talking to. Like if they're in an older demographic and there's a high chance they've never used Skype before, or they're super untechy, maybe that'd be more of a headache than it's worth. Or if I was selling to cafe or restaurant owners or something like that who are just so super busy and never get a chance to, like, they don't spend time in front of the computer, maybe I do phone. But your conversion rates are usually higher on Skype because they get to speak to a human, not a voice. I'm not saying you can't do phone consults, but that's the way that I find it. And then the last part of that, do you have a script you can share for consult call that your team uses? I do. That's in the inner circle. So I share that in the inner circle. So the inner circle is for those people that want to build businesses very similar to mine. So coaches, consultants, personal brands, and professional services. So I don't actually share that inside the Doing Academy. But if you want further help and you want to get that, I kind of in that go behind the scenes and show you my exact funnel for that and read out the exact script and give you some recordings of that as well so you can see it in action, which works quite well. So feel free to shoot through an email or go to register.thedoingacademy.com/inner-circle where I share all of that as well. Okay. Your question, Lee, about, I hope that helps, Min. Your question, Lee, and then Savenya, you're next. Sorry, Savenya, you were first and then Lee, sorry. Just quickly, let me answer Savenya's. Okay, yes, got yours here. My conversion rate isn't working. So in Ads Manager, I see my custom conversion isn't active and I don't get a conversion rate. I can see 9 people in MailChimp, so it's definitely working, but the conversions aren't reporting properly. Cool, let me have a look. Okay, so I don't want to look at this part, Svenja. I would need to look at the way you've set up your conversion. So I want you to go back into the Facebook training and jump ahead to when I set up the custom conversion. The custom conversion is a bit that I set up where it's like URL contains right? That bit where it's like a little screen that says URL contains in a drop down, and you insert your URL. The biggest thing I normally see is people are not pasting the right URL in there. So when you're setting up your custom conversions, it'll be under your ad set level. Hit edit on your ad set and you'll see your custom conversion. What I need to make sure that you do is when you're setting up that custom conversion, you have to load the thank you page and use that exact link. Normally people have either manually tried to type the link in and they made a mistake, or they've used the wrong link. They've used that link or that link. It should be the link of the page that they see after they put their email in. So Facebook wants to know, what do you consider a conversion? And it asks which page they have to get to for you to consider it a conversion. That's the page, because we know if they get here, they've given us an email. So that's the page that considers them a conversion. So you have to put in like the thank you page or the core offer page. You have to put that link in. So load that page in your browser, copy it exactly and paste that in. And make sure that when you copy and paste that in. And then the other reason sometimes where people go wrong is that they haven't put their pixel on the pages, so Facebook isn't tracking it. So just make sure that you go into the Ads Manager menu in the top left-hand corner, click on the drop-down, go along to Pixels, hit on Pixel. In there, you'll see an Actions drop-down. Hit on that, a drop-down will appear and it will say View Pixel. Hit View Pixel, make sure that pixel is on all of your landing pages, right? So it's got to sit in the header of the landing pages, not on the actual page, but in the back end, how it always lets you put in a tracking code. Some in lead pages they call it tracking code. In ClickFunnels they call it tracking code as well. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I'll just have a quick look in the page. Yeah, they call it tracking code as well. You can go into the funnel. If you're in ClickFunnels, you can go into the funnel and hit settings in the top right-hand corner, and you'll see header tracking code. So I hope that helps, Savenya. They're the three things I'd look out for. Make sure the pixel's on all of the pages. Make sure that you're using this link and none of the other links, just this link in your custom conversion, and make sure it's been copy and pasted correctly and there's no typos in it. If that's the case and you've done all of that, send me through a screenshot of that bit where it says URL contains, the bit where you set up the custom conversion, just so I can double check if there's something out there that looks out. But if you've done those things, you should be right. It should be reporting the 9 emails that you've captured, should be showing similar in Facebook. Sometimes they're not 100% accurate. Sometimes it might say 7 instead of 9 or 8 instead of 9, but it won't say 0 instead of 9. It'll be very close to correct. So they're the 3 places people go wrong in their Facebook ads. I hope that helps. Lee's question: do you recommend always putting a phone number on a website on the homepage? How important is this online? Very, if you want to be called. So if you're in professional services, if you're in a local-based business, if you're potentially a coach or a consultant, it depends what level of business you're at as to whether you want to pick up the phone or not. If you want people to contact you via phone, and that's a great way for them to inquire and find out more, it has to be in the top right-hand corner. And to the left of it, a female face and/or a phone icon. It works really well as well. Make sure too, on a mobile device, with most of your traffic being mobile, make sure that phone number is click to call. People shouldn't have to on their phones type it in. They should be able to click on the top right-hand header and click to call. Online retail. P.S. Don't put a mobile. Always have a 1300 or a local landline line number, one of those two, or 0800 in the US. Always try and have more of a business-looking number than a mobile. It'll just convert way higher and it will give more authority to the site. Put it on an e-commerce site. I'm just thinking of like the big brands don't. It's in the contact page if you want to talk to someone. Let me just think of 1 second. Yeah, a lot of the big brands that I know are really good at digital marketing because I know the owners of them that are doing like 8 figures in their online stores, some beauty, some health and wellness, those kinds of e-commerce brands. I've just looked at a couple of their websites now. They have their phone number in the top right-hand corner. Couldn't tell you if they got spam calls. I don't know. Maybe a couple. I know you don't want to get spam calls, but if 30% of those are customers who then go and buy, maybe it's worth having the phone and being able to occasionally have to say, no, thank you, hang up. Like, it's obviously there for a reason. It's been split tested. I was just looking at 3 e-commerce brands that I'm quite intimate with, and yeah, they've got them. So put it on. I would. Next question is from Arlene. Are you still on here? Because I want to answer. Arlene, awesome. Business persons and senior executives who want to migrate to Australia. So business persons and senior executives who want to migrate to Australia. So geographically, here's what I do. Have a look at my LinkedIn training and build a little campaign based on the steps that are in there. It'll just tend to be more expensive. But if you've got a high profit margin in this business, then it might be worth doing. The same demographics that you use on LinkedIn, you can use on Facebook, in the sense that on Facebook, and you just might not be aware of this, on Facebook, you can choose industry, if you've got specific industries that you feel really aligned with, and you can choose job title. So if you're choosing job title, and you can choose salary, I probably wouldn't bother with industry, because I think in your space it doesn't really matter. I'd probably deal with job title and salary. I'd probably deal with job title personally, and I'd go senior executive, president, vice presidents, CEOs, founders, words like that, in the job titles, and test those out. Or I have in some niches gone income more than $150,000. I think that's from memory. That's as high as you can go. Personal income of one person in the household is more than $150,000. Tends to work okay. But you'll find if you can do LinkedIn advertising, you can do the same stuff in Facebook, because you can do industry, job title, qualifications, associations and organizations they're a part of. You can do all those same demographics in Facebook. So because it's so much cheaper on Facebook than it is on LinkedIn advertising, and there's a lot more traffic on Facebook, it's a lot more scalable on Facebook. LinkedIn's like a drop in the ocean compared to Facebook advertising. If it works on there, it'll usually work even better on Facebook. So it's just knowing where those demographics sit. That's under demographics in the ad set level. And in Facebook, I'd almost try things around, usually they've got interests or been looking at a lot of stuff around, those migration related interests. So if there's any associations, if there's any organizations or words those people are typing in, I'd be using those. Wanting to invest or start a business in Australia. Yeah. So you can do both of those things. You can do, be doing things, interests around angel investors. You can be doing interests around capital funding startups, like hedge fund, the hedge fund space for startups as well. Like you can be doing all of those kinds of angel investing niches as well. People that are getting into that space, it's all there. So yeah, but there's LinkedIn training in the paid traffic module in the Doing Academy. Next question is from Sandy. Hold on, is it Sandy? No, Lee. No, I answered yours. Oh, do I need to be on 24/7 with my business? It's a product-based business. No. You're looking for local and international sales? Tough. I mean, you can easily there's obviously call centers that you can use to take messages outside of the business hours you're working. But no, there's voicemails. There's, I'm just thinking of a wholesaler, there's a physical product client that I had that grew, that in 12 months, the first 12 months we worked together, they doubled their revenue and they doubled their profit margin. So they quadrupled the profit that was coming out of the business. And their way their team worked, they had a receptionist on the phone 9 to 5, and phone calls are important. Like every time they picked up the call, we worked out what a call was worth to them when we did all of our lead tracking and revenue per lead, and we worked out that a call was worth $440. So every time you don't answer the phone, the money goes in the bin, right? It's like getting like a wad of $440 of notes and throwing it in the bin. So we had to answer the phone. So that one was critical, the 9 to 5, because it was worth money, worth good money. But outside of hours, you have a voice message. which is totally fine, or you can have a calling team. So they're kind of virtual office setups where someone can answer the phone, have a list of 10 frequently asked questions that people can answer for you. But the main aim of those calls is to try and get contact details so they can have someone call you back, which also work pretty well. In the past, in my services-based, one of my services-based businesses, I had a live chat on the website as well, and that worked quite well. And the live chat doesn't have to be done by you. The live chat is usually done by a third-party organisation who, again, has a script that they follow and has your 10 most frequently asked questions to be answered. And then if it doesn't suit one of those, like their script or the 10 frequently asked questions, they will always ask for contact details so they can get someone to double check this one for them and get back to them ASAP. And we usually, when we put that into our service-based business, it increased inquiries by 25% that we were able to capture. So it increased the lead capture of the website by 25%. If we were getting 100 leads that month, we were getting 125 leads that month by just putting on that live chat from the stuff that was coming through. Some were time wasters, but a lot of them were quality, which really helped. Sandy, do you give a full case study of the funnel you used and what you did to make $1 million in 90 days? Is that in a Doing Academy or in the Inner Circle? So that I'm doing can I tell you about it? I think I can. So that was a webinar funnel, and the Identity Project gives you the basics of a webinar funnel to get going and get started. But I figured that that $1 million in 90 days was I'm teaching that inside my Doers Inner Circle. And I've got a 6-week masterclass on that coming up called the Genius Project, because it's not only being able to make that $1 million in 90 days, it's being able to make the product that you sell, right? And so I found that for people that are in my space that want to do a similar thing to me, but in their own niche, right? Similar business model, but in their own niche, whether they're in wellness or health or life coaching or business coaching or whatever it is, or parenting coaching or whatever, people in this space, I reckon 85% of the women I talk to, when I say, like, what's your biggest problem? A couple of answers, but one of the most popular by a gazillion is, how do I get, like, I'm really good at what I do. I kind of know the broad brushstrokes of what I create, but what I want to create, but how do I get what's in my head, my genius zone, into a structured program, either a coaching and consulting program that's you walk people through with it done with you, or a do-it-yourself program, like the Identity Project's a little bit more do-it-yourself. It's not one-on-one coaching, it's like group coaching, right? So a one-on-one coaching should be like a few thousand plus, but it might be $1,000 kind of program if it's something like the Identity Project, right? Female entrepreneurs really struggle and waste so much time on getting that genius zone out of their head and into a step-by-step, structured, logical program that people can achieve similar results on, right? Having that process and that flow of that program, and then being able to actually create the content and put it live, right? Knowing the systems to use and how to actually get that content together as quickly as possible. I know this sounds crazy or it might sound familiar to you, I often talk to women who have been trying to build their course for over 12 months, been trying to build an online program, coaching, consulting, like information products for over 12 months, just the actual program, let alone having to sell it, right? You don't make money building a program, you only make money selling a program. So I've talked to one lady recently who'd spent 3 years, and I was like, and where are you up to? Like just on the side, been building it for 3 years. I was like, where are you up to? And she's like, module 3. I was like, what? This is an issue. Like, stop. This is an issue. We need to fix this. And there's so many things that I use. I use transcribing things. It's like I've got a formula around this, right? Because I can pump these out with incredible content really quickly. And that's a really strong genius zone of mine. So the Genius Project is me showing you how to do all of that and then how to sell it so that you can kind of use that same funnel that I used step by step that sold $1 million in 90 days through webinars. Now, there is webinar training inside this basic webinar training inside the Doing Academy. And there's the webinar actual funnel flow and how to develop that inside the Identity Project. But I'm going really deep dive inside the Doers Inner Circle, and then this Genius Project will be launching soon, within the next 4 weeks is my plan. Don't hold me to that, but hopefully. So I hope that helps, Sandy. That's kind of the way that I'm approaching that, because yeah, I can't make Doing Academy any bigger. It's already got like a heck of a lot in it for the price, but I really want to drill down and focus in on this element. It doesn't suit everyone. It doesn't suit e-commerce. It doesn't suit brick and mortar. It doesn't suit service-based businesses, but there's that niche that it really does suit, which are people that want to build my business in their own niche, which is what I can absolutely help with, because I've done it from scratch and done it really quickly. Awesome. Cool. So Arlene, you'll find all of that in the you just got to build the funnel out, right? You find all of that. You've got to build your lead magnet, right? That's how you're getting the email addresses, and that's how you get people to like it. So I need you to go through the formula, right? Don't just like throw an ad up and wonder why people aren't clicking on it, or why people are just liking it. I need you to go through the formula. You need to be doing website conversion ads. You need to make sure that you've got a lead magnet you're directing them to. You need to make sure you're capturing an email address through that lead magnet, and then nurturing them to a next level of commitment, but not too high commitment, with a low conversion of time or money, in that sense. So make sure that you're stepping them through that process in a step-by-step way, and it's all inside the portal, right? Just follow the training. I do that step by step. Yeah. In terms of, and there's people in your market. I've got a few girls in your space who are doing a similar kind of thing. That, like, this market's super profitable and people are buying like crazy. You've just got to be the person that is front of mind. You've got to know how to get in front of them for a profitable price, and you've got to know how to engage and convert. So we'll go through all of that as well inside the training. Just follow it step by step. If you're new in here and you've just started, you definitely need to follow the formula and follow the process, because all of these questions are answered as you go through it. So yeah, trust in the process. It's made a lot of my girls a lot of money, which is awesome, and the most exciting part of my job. Beautiful. Well, I think that's most of the questions answered. That's all of the live questions. Just quickly, a question from Gabby. I would like to incorporate an MLM into my business model in another income stream. Can you work me through funnel strategies that would work for product sales and team building? Yep. So on the product side, if you wanted to sell product, I go through an e-commerce funnel. So I'd start with a competition, and the competition doesn't have to be of your product. The competition could be of a, if you're in beauty, it could be of a makeup tutorial or a one-on-one training session on Skype, or those kinds of things. It doesn't have to be the physical product as the competition, but I'd go through that for an e-commerce, and then I'd transition into a first purchase family discount or a reason to buy now over on the store. On the team building or the opportunity side, I'd do a consult funnel. So I'd go from Facebook ad to lead magnet, and remember, the lead magnet isn't necessarily relating to the product, it's relating to the opportunity. A lead magnet relating to what the pain point is of people that take advantage of this opportunity, which is extra income, those kinds of things. And then I'd move into that consult, first name, last name, email, phone, to have a consult with you. The biggest thing around this space is that you won't be able to advertise the network marketing brand on Facebook or on that first landing page. I'm not a lawyer, this isn't legal advice, but always check with the company first. Normally you have to go in through a different front door that's your own brand, your own training, your own product, something like that on this space, and then you can transition and start talking about the product or the opportunity. Once you can pull them away from Facebook and they're in your own kind of community, then you can start talking about it. And last two questions. Philly's question, can you please give me feedback on my website? It's not doing a very good job at the moment. What can I do to make it more appealing? Yes, I did a lot of website design and online psychology in my agency. Now there's two reasons why. Okay, so firstly, I would definitely make sure that your navigation is larger. Your navigation's a bit small there right now. And I would, in the top right-hand corner, I would make that phone much bigger. I would try and get a 1300, 1800 or 02, a landline or business kind of number. Severely decrease, and same with the email. It should be an info at or an ask at or a hello at. Otherwise, it will look too small, I guess. Not that that's a bad thing, but it can look a bit too small and a bit too, just not professional enough, right? We found that particularly we were doing a lot of work with trades-based businesses, like service-based businesses, and they would always put their mobile number up because they're like, oh, I want them to just call me on my mobile. Like, yeah, I know, but get a landline and direct that to your mobile. Don't, which is easy to do. You can do that for $5 a month. In Australia, I like Simple Telecom is really good at that, $5 a month, and it's just so easy to set up. Can you get a photo of the people that you've got testimonials of? That will definitely help convert higher. In the bottom of your footer, we also need to have a mailing address. It doesn't have to be a physical location, but a mailing address is really important. Now, the biggest thing with this is we need lead capture before the fold, right? So before they start scrolling on a website, you need something up the top. You've got your phone number and the details in the top right-hand corner, but you need something in that top section before they start scrolling that allows, like, that's a lead magnet, basically. So rather than saying learn more, give them something there. You're far more inclined to get an opt-in if you're giving something rather than just advising them to learn more and end up taking a sales chat, right? Go straight through a lead magnet. You've at least then got an email address. And then the last thing I was going to say here, you've got a live chat option, which is good. I would love to see a pop-up on this website as well. So Opt-in Monster, or OptiMonk, both really good. I would check out those. Yeah, they're the main things that I would try and focus on. Cool. Those couple of tweaks will help, but I'd love to see if this page is, like, I'd love to get this page converting to 10 to 15%, but websites don't convert anywhere near as well as landing pages, which start from 20% and often go a lot higher. Getting around 10% on a website is a really good conversion rate. So if you're getting 10% conversion rate, if you look at how many people came to this website, your traffic versus your inquiries, if you're getting 10%, you're doing pretty well. And if that's not generating many leads at 10%, then it's because you haven't got enough traffic going to it. But as you know, my whole philosophy is focused around landing pages because they've always served me far better than a website. Only asking for an email address, is that just for Facebook ads or all of your lead magnets? At what point do you ask for their first name? The second commitment. So the first commitment is always email only. 3 years ago, it was better to ask for both because using a first name in an email had a big enough difference in your overall conversion rates that the more fields you're asking people to enter, the lower your conversion rate. It sounds ridiculous, but just asking them to also give your first name dramatically decreases your conversion rate. So the fewer fields, the better. The reason why we start off with a micro commitment of email only is so that we increase the amount of people that are joining our email community. But you don't have the first name there, so you can't personalize the emails in the same way. That used to matter a few years ago. People have all kind of got used to the fact that it's not cool anymore to say, hi, Grace. You know, people they don't look at their emails anymore and go, oh, you must know me. I'm going to quickly click on this one. It doesn't have the same impact that it used to have. So now it's better across the funnel in all of my experiences and profitization kind of strategies, and most of the digital marketers in the world will tell you the same. It's better to try and capture email only so that you can market based on the email address. And the name will usually come at the second step. So whatever your next step is here, whether they pay you an amount of money or whether they commit to a consult or an event, whatever it is, that's where you'll capture the name, usually the second level of commitment. Cool. And then last question is from Nikki. Yes. Cool, Nikki. I can put that back in. Nikki's just saying that she remembers that there used to be a video in the old one, in the old Doing Academy portal, about how to put call to actions into your blogs. And she just can't find that in the new one. I'll make a note of that. I'll just quickly write that down and give that to one of my amazing product girlies. Could we please add the video from the old portal that showed how to insert CTAs into blogs? That was a good video, actually. I remember that one. That's in the Doing Academy. Cool. I'll make sure that happens as well, Nikki. Okay, guys. Hope that's been helpful. I'm going to let you go because I think I've answered all of the questions. Awesome, I have. You're welcome, guys. You are welcome. Head on off. Enjoy your days. People in the UK and Europe, go to bed. It is so late there. Thanks for joining me, guys. And I will be here. I'll be in the identity call tomorrow, but I'll be here this time next week. Keep building, keep hustling. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for joining me. See you guys.